Soften up the mess, drop it in the water, let the daughter find her image with the rest. She'll be learning how to breathe, spinning through identity, reveal another pretty little scheme. Save her mind.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is sorry, I'm just doing 1,000 things. Today is Saturday, the 23rd of March, and we are here at the Kyalami racetrack, or whatever it's called, for the Unlimited Fest, hosted by the Wisdom and Wellness team, or Bumile Draba. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing day. I'm looking forward to just taking it all in, networking, meeting a whole bunch of like-minded ladies, and just having an amazing day. So I gotta go because my gal pal, who I am meeting here for the very first time, so a whole bunch of us are here came by ourselves, and yeah, we'll be basically meeting each other for the first time. Talk about a little bit of anxiety there, but we're gonna be okay. Anyways, let's go. I forgot my tripod for my phone, for my camera, so I don't know how this vlog is gonna work today, but let's see.
Yelling from the roof, I touch, put up a guard and count to 10. Lion's den, speaking with the higher pen. Can't be touched by fire. Fast forward to the grown things now. I'm working on them soul things now. Forgiving all your old ways, but it's harder on the cold days. Cold days. Never been a product of a flawless environment. Never acted like I'm higher than you. And I still pray, dear God, won't you send me a break? Cause I need to get away, yeah. Dear God, won't you send me a break? Cause I need to get away, yeah. Cause I would rather be running away. I would rather be running. Dear God, won't you send me a break? Cause I need to get away. I need to get away now. I need to get away.
I don't even know if you can hear me. We're seated and waiting for the program to begin. Hey guys! Meeting more YouTubers!
Yarms, are you tuning?
Yep, we are ready.
Enjoy the content, guys.
Exactly.
Enjoy the content and subscribe, please.
Please subscribe to our channel. What's your handle?
Gail, Matwayo.
Sweet lega, guys. Sweet.
So I'm just going to ask, even as people are coming in, let's just kind of tone down just a little bit. Just a little bit. My first name is Auntie, my second name is Gail. It's such a blessing to be in your presence. Let us stand in agreement. Father, we thank you. We thank you that you hear us, that you see us, that you know us, that you care about us, that you love us. Forgive us for doubting. And we're so grateful for your grace and your mercy and your kindness. And thank you for every single person standing here in expectation. And we thank you that your love is unlimited and your vision for us is unlimited. We thank you, we bless you, and all the daughters and the sons said, amen.
Restrictions of space, ability, and power. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, not physical, but a spiritual personality and moral likeness, and let them have complete authority. From the beginning of time, before I was formed, before you were a thought in your lineage, complete authority. Before pain and rejection gave us a new name, we were chosen to bear fruit and dominate. Before the rape, the failure, before the cancer, the insecurity, the adultery, the rejection, before the death of a mother thus resulting in the death of our dreams, and before the thought of a new day weighed heavily on us, he blessed us. Granting authority, he said, be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. But sin came and made us sick in our faith. We judged Peter when he started to sink. We judged his lack of faith. But when last did you leave the known for the unknown? Have you tried walking on water? I judged him no more because I stepped out and I thought I'd been moved. Until the winds and waves got higher and higher and I started to sing. God, is it you? God, is this you? Tell me it's you and I will run. It's him. I know it's him. But I expected the no. Why would it be faith if I know the way? Why would I need him if I can just heal myself? Fix myself, lead myself. Faith is hope, but without evidence. Hear me clearly. Faith has no evidence, only a knowing that God is with you. God, if it's you, tell us to come. We are tired of cycles, stagnancy, poverty, pornography, broken homes, trauma, insecurity. We know there is no. You said you came that we may have life and life in abundance. But what does it take? God, if it's you. What does it take to return to my original state? God, if it's you. An unlimited need. Surrender. One day, one step, one moment at a time. Give me your pain, give me your anger, give me your vengeance, give me your ego. You can choose to keep it or choose to heal it, but you can't have both. Walk with me and let me tell you who you are. You are my child, a chosen one, a royal priesthood. I call you holy, my own special child. You are healed. You are unlimited. Trust me and I will show you how. I have blessed you.
If
Welcome to Unlimited Fest 24 Healing Edition. When we declared healing, we declared war. I'm emotional today as I look at all 2,000 of you, and I know what it took to get here. Because of the process that it took to get here, I know what you are carrying. And today, we are going to declare healing. But we have to identify where we come from. Our foundations. We do not choose our foundations. We do not choose where we come from. We don't choose our DNA. And we don't choose what happened to us. But we get to break them down and decide, this shall not be my foundation. We get to decide that this shall not be my foundation. And I choose the foundation of the one who knew me before I was formed in my mother's womb. I get to choose the foundation of the one who said in John 15, I chose you. You did not choose me. I chose you so that you may bear fruit in my Father's name. But it comes with its things. It comes with obedience. It comes to say, God, I have every right to hold on to this anger. I have every right to be rebellious. And you know what? You can get to keep your pain. God still loves you. Or you can get to say, over to you. Turn to your neighbor and ask her, what are you choosing?
What are you choosing?
Go, pal. I want you well. Because when you are well, you show up well. And you cannot say I'm well because I pray, but you don't take care of your body. You cannot say I'm well because I take care of my body, but you don't take care of your emotions. You cannot say I'm well because I pray and I go to therapy, but your finances are not in order. Spiritually, emotionally, financially, relationally, physically, we should be well. Will it all be well at one level at the same time? No. But we need to be well so that we can show up and make
that's what I believe. But again, all of this is personal, guys. I know you guys have phones out, I'm on a train. But I honestly believe that a lot of love, like a lot of life, is faith. And there's a high level of unknown that is required. But I think you look at the patterns. And if there's more pros than cons, and you can, for me, it's about building a life. That's how I've always looked at relationships. If you're looking at relationships long term, yes, attraction is amazing and whatnot, but the foundation will be, can we build something sustainable together? Can we live together? Because hardships are going to come, things are going to happen. We're going to have to do a festival. Now I'm also involved. Can I actually do it in the long run? So I would say if someone showcases a lot of strengths in a partnership building aspect, that for me that's how I knew it a lot. And I'll tell a quick story. One time I was out, I was doing my gigs, I was still a young boy, I still look like that video. And I used to do this thing, I still do it now, I just bought a new car, and I used to spin my car. Like I'd play around with my car, and I'd spin it in the rain, and it was fun. And this one time I spun it and it crashed. And so I had a system where my money was safe with my mom. And so to get my money, I'd have to call my mom and say, Mom, I need you to transfer the money. And this time I think it was like 3 a.m. in the morning. And we had just started dating. Only like 2-3 months. And the only person I could think of who could get me out of that situation was me, right? So I called me at like 3:30 in the morning. And I said, hey, I've just been in an accident. Can you please send me 3.5? I need to fix my bumper so I can go. I'll pay it back on my money. I stressed that out. I'll pay it back on my money. And to my surprise, the guy gave me 2 months. Her response was, okay, cool, send me your account number. And this is a student.
I'm a student.
She was a student at the time.
It's a sin. That's a financial
Yeah. But what I learned from that moment, and this is why I said patterns, I learned who is the kind of person, even if you put yourself in a ditch, you can trust in her to help you get out. And so my entire perspective about our relationship changed from that moment. Because from that moment, I knew I could build a life with this person. It's not a support system. So I don't even know what the question was.
Yes, we can date. We continued for, I think, 15 months. And afterwards, we went our separate ways. During that lonely time, I was alone in my space all the time. The pictures, not the picture that you see, but the conversations kept on popping up, and they remind me that she holds values and principles that I will need to know.
Yeah, love that. I think I'm gonna piggyback on what school was saying earlier on how I know he was the one. So when I was growing up, you can see him very animated, very out there, very loud, okay? And my mom did not know how to package all of that nice, you know? So usually she would be like, okay, sit here, and I'm like, I wanna stand there, right? And as I was growing up, and with all of that, all of those challenges, I was in a child that was very naughty, you know. It's just that she just didn't know how to handle her personality. And she would often say, you know what? I hope when you get married to someone who just tame you, okay? You need to get married to someone who's just gonna ground you. Okay? So I was very afraid for a long time that I don't want to be grounded, I don't want to be tamed, I don't want to change who I was. And the minute I met to school, I knew he was the one when I could see that I could still be me, right? And I didn't have to pretend, I didn't have to be someone else, and I don't need to be deep or anything like that. I remember when I met him and knowing knowing that, I was living this secret life. So we met in 2016, and it had been 3 years since I was diagnosed with HIV, and no one in my family knew. And so it was always like a fear of mine where, okay, if I start dating, how am I going to disclose to this person, that where I come from, the fact that I'm living with HIV and stuff like that. It was immediately like, oh, what's the history behind there, and all of that really started when we end. And I remember, I think I'll always go back to this. When I disclosed to him, there was no change on his facial expression. Like, there was none. I mean, when someone tells you something, we'll talk. And whether you like it or not, your face changes. Usko did not flinch. He did not. His facial expression was the same from start to finish. And then I was like, okay, can we still go out for lunch? And I was like, yes.
Over the years, and there's been a shift in the contact creation industry where you guys are now saying, I don't owe you that information. I don't owe you that, right? And I'm like on the other side, and I'm just like, shit, man, their lives must be hard. They have to share everything. I'm just like, no, man. How do you then say, because I've seen the transition over there where people are sharing everything, family, their marriages. Now they're not. They're like, there's a hard line. How do you maintain your community, but still say, I don't owe you anything?
It's a bit of a tough one. See, and I was thinking about this earlier this week, actually. Like, when it comes to being vulnerable and open and transparent and sharing everything, it's a good way to grow. But, sometimes it does get a bit protect. Yeah, sometimes it does get a bit uncomfortable. I think during the time that I started social media, the internet was a lot more forgiving, Like, it was a lot more fun. I remember I used to have these like daily live sessions where I would just go online for hours and just talk to my followers about everything and anything. And that was so much fun, but over the years, it's just created like such a weird space, And a lot of us have created these boundaries not because that's what we want to do. Like, I personally have no problem with so much, But at the same time, you start asking yourself, like, is it safe for me to do that, So it's been pretty difficult. I know myself, I've learned boundaries in a way that was uncomfortable, but I think just in retrospect, like, when you do put yourself on fire and line like that, it forces you to, like, go back and do the inner work. So even though it was a weird, like, outward, inward process, I'm so fortunate it was consistent. Let's be that. It is an institution I believe in with all my heart. It is something that requires you to never take your foot off the pedal in terms of constantly working on it. You're basically bringing two people who grew up from two different households. I'm different from my siblings, even though we're raised by the same person, and now you're meeting someone who comes from a completely different background, and there's too many differences, but I think I naively thought that at some point it just runs on autopilot, and I quickly learned that it doesn't. You cannot stop working on it because not only the person who married in 2019 has evolved so much, you constantly have to learn. When I met my husband, we both lived in Cape Town, I would live in Joburg. It's like there's so many things, there's so many variables that you just can't tire of learning and putting in the effort. And like I said, I'm not an expert. Yeah, but I'll tell you that much. Like yesterday, I had a shoot, and my husband says, "Come to stay, let's have a drink." And I'm like, it's so nice to have a friend. After a long day, there's someone who says, "Let's have a drink," and then we'll go home together. In night, highly recommend. Not
this may not be even a platform where it's great to that, but it's so great because so many people are going through that, you know. I'm going through it. I'm 34 this year, right? And you've got this checklist. You're like, I can tell you before me, I'm like, oh, I don't have and that's okay. And thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. I want to ask, and I think that it leads to this conversation on the pressures we put ourselves on when things should be done. You know, you reach a certain stage, you know, I'm 29, nearly 30. In your 30s, you're supposed to have this, and it's not done. And I think that what happens in social media is that we log on to Instagram. Guys, it's a bubble, right? It's a scene, 180 by 180. And you see people's highest duration of their lives. And no matter how confident you are, I tell all my friends, I'm like, I have no confidence issues. I can log in, see amazing things, log out, I'm good, feel no type of way. But sometimes you get into, listen, this is my age, this is what I'm supposed to be, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So how do you navigate that? And not just in, a lot of people think it's success, right? Like in material things, I'm supposed to be here, blah, blah, blah. No, it's also in the depth of my friendships, you know, the relationships, spirituality, you know. So how do you say, I don't have to have this creative life on social media, I'm going to create my thing and stick to your plan?
First of all, I believe sometimes a no from God is protection. Because his plans are not like ours, and his thoughts are not like ours. For us, it's like exactly as you like it, as you have kids, as you live the life, and for God it's not like that. Probably you are still in training, you are not ready for it. Or he has no plans for that for you. So I believe our lives are made by God, they are planned by God, and they are structured by God. That is why every time our prayers will be, God, order my steps. Because we want to do things his way. If this is not good for me, if I'm saying to God, order my steps, I definitely mean, if this is not for me, shift it. And then when we shift it, what do I say? Oh God, I really needed this. I wanted this so much. I wanted to get married to this man. I wanted to have children with this cute man. Put your past to God. God, please guide me. So sometimes we just should understand and know that his plans are better than ours. He knows us better. He knows even the number of hairs in our head. So he knows what is good for you and what is not good for us. It's true.
So Kay touched on it, you know, living a life of surrender. It's not easy. I think it starts with believing that you are loved. Like, you are loved by God. God loves you. Somebody who loves you doesn't want to see you suffer just for the sake of it. You know, God loves you. Yes, he operates outside of time. 1 second, 10,000 years, get fun up. But he wants to give the desires that you have in your heart. He puts them there. And he will give you, but not at all costs. At least not at the cost of your soul. Not at the cost of your soul. So when you see those delays, I constantly have to remind myself that God does not operate with the same timeline as I do. And it's a trust thing where you surrender your plans to say, I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land. I'm going to keep moving it.
Even though the lightings are that great. Hey, gal pal.
Hi, honey.
How are you?
Still beautiful. How are you?
Oh, I love that. Let's go outside. The lighting is better.
Okay. My name is Nobupiwa.
Yes,
here. I'm attending the Unlimited Fest 2024.
Period. Yeah, that's all. We're having a good time. It's great, guys. We're learning. It's very insightful, and there's dustbins behind us.
Great.
Exactly. Amazing. Check you later.
Cheers.
So thank you. You're welcome. Can I say hello to you? Yes, please. Go for it. Hello. Wow. First of all, this is a huge surprise, and I'll tell you why. I've traveled sub-Saharan Africa a lot, doing talks or just making appearances, and this would be the kind of welcome that I would get when I'm traveling, right? And not to say South Africans don't love us, we know they do, but I think I've just never really been in an environment where there are so many people, like a whole warehouse filled with beautiful people, and the screams and the shouts and the love, I feel all of it. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
I must mention before we start, let's start with some icebreaker. What song did you listen to on your way here?
I was playing Janae Aiko.
Really?
Yeah. So just from the Apple Music playlist, just all her songs.
And this morning, which song did you play at home when you got up?
For My Good.
For My God, right?
Trevor.
Ah, okay. Got you. What is your biggest guilty pleasure?
My biggest guilty pleasure?
Yeah.
Hey, somebody's laughing at me. I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure or if it's just an everyday pleasure. Yes. I love peanut butter sandwich. It's almost an addiction. And the thing is, when I have it, I have to have it with Milo, which people don't understand. Because people go, yo, that's heavy, and I go, well.
When I say guilty pleasure, people say macchiatos, fruits, deep fried chips, this is peanut butter and jam. Peanut butter sandwich.
Peanut butter sandwich.
And I believe God gives you clues in your life. For example, I was sharing my foundations, I was sharing my history, and I was just sharing that at the age of 4, my dad put me on a stage to sing, and just moments how I was serving in church, and just all these moments that when I do the things I do now, it makes sense when you look back. So when you think of your life, what are some of the clues that you're like, oh, it actually makes sense perhaps why I ran a salon and why I am here?
So when I was growing up, I was extremely shy. I still am very shy. People don't believe that I'm shy. I think I've just trained myself to be able to operate on a stage in front of the cameras. But I think naturally, I'm a very introverted person. And it's something that used to worry my dad a lot, because I think he thought I would underperform because I was too shy and too scared to put myself out there. For example, I would be in the debate club, but I wouldn't be the one on stage talking. I'd rather be the one doing research. I'd rather be the one doing research, taking notes, and the one behind the scenes. My sister, on the other hand, my older sister, beautiful woman, she was into pageants and stuff, and she was the more outgoing one, the more beautiful one. Like, I didn't even have a name. I was Kiki's sister. Right, she was Kiki and I was Kiki's sister, and I was very happy to be Kiki's sister. But this one time, my dad encouraged me to just rehearse with her when she was, getting ready for her competitions, to just rehearse with her, and and I started doing it, and I kind of started enjoying it and getting a little bit of confidence. Doing drama at school, I did literature and English and speech and drama at school. I had an English teacher from the UK. His name was Mr. Byron. They called him Byron the boss. Very intimidating man, tall. Nobody liked Mr. Byron. Mr. Byron liked nobody. But Mr. Byron
for me, because it was almost like he saw something in me that I didn't see. And I remember Mr. I don't even know where he is right now, bless his soul. I remember Mr. Byron saying to me one day that he walked with a stick, and he actually threatened people with that stick. So when he said you, he was pointing that stick at me, and he said, you are going to be a star one day. You know, so he almost spoke that into my life, and I don't even know why he said that when he said it. All I know is I loved performing. And every time I performed, I felt like someone else.
So with you, does your discipline come naturally, or what happened to you?
I think it was really instilled in me when I was very young. My dad is a sportsman, so they are naturally disciplined, right? So he grew up under the guidance of a sportsman. He was a boxer, he did karate. I did karate when I was young, and the discipline that follows, that goes with just being in a karate class is insane. So I think some of those traits I got from when I was younger. But then again, going back to just how strict, my dad was a disciplinarian. And being the third child, I got the opportunity to see these two disciplined. The two that I come up to, right? So I kind of learned a lot of what not to do from there. So God knows how I would have turned out if I didn't have these two to observe and learn from. Because my dad, you know when they say spare the rod and spoil the child, my dad did not spare the rod at all. So there was no way I was going to be slapped. There was no way. So I made sure I behaved. So I think in a way, that being ENQUIRIES just made me toe the line and try to do the right thing. And also I hated disappointing my parents. And you know, as much as my dad didn't spare the rod, it was more than just that. I could see the pain both he and my mom felt every time they were disappointed by their children. And I didn't want to be that child that, you know, I mean, my children will make mistakes and we will naturally disappoint them. But I didn't want it to be a thing of habit that I don't care. You know, they must just deal with it. So I think I was taught and adopted discipline from a very young age.
I know you were a mother, and I think every time you speak about your sister, you always mention how much you love her, and the way you speak about the people in your life, you just ooze love. And as someone who loves love and lost love in the physical, what is a small moment that you looked past and that seemed insignificant that you missed the most in regards to your late husband?
Man, show. Nothing with show was a small moment. I think we were just so big on life, the both of us. I think we celebrated life every day. And every single moment with him was meaningful. Never small. Nothing small about, you know, my encounter with my husband. I miss everything about him, but if I were to just name the few things that I miss about him, I miss his laughter a lot. But I think because he loves so much, I hear it often in my head. Yes, I can hear it often. I see him smile a lot. I miss his nurturing side. Joe was very nurturing. I think he loved hard, you know, and I never used to believe that men were capable of loving like that. And he actually showed me and taught me what real love is. So I know real true love exists. I believe in it wholeheartedly. I never stopped believing in love because the show is not here. I still feel his love now. And I think that's the beauty of being in a meaningful, healthy marriage, relationship, whatever, is that when our loved ones leave us, I mean, the same with my mom, the memories we have of these people, they don't go away. And because of that, that's what keeps them alive, right? Because they may not be here in the physical, but because you're always talking about them. I'm always talking about my husband. Every other, if I'm having a chat, right now we're talking about him. But if I'm having a chat with my daughters or my sister, there's no point where Sean's name does not come up. The other day, Alicia had ordered something and she goes, "Oh, Dad!" And she burst out laughing. And I go, "What?" Dad would have been on my case about this. So almost like he's still, everything is like Dad this, Dad that. And I love that because we are not trying to forget him. And which is something I find very challenging in black communities, especially because I'm not sure how white communities handle it. Is that when you have lost and you're grieving, it's like everybody's pushing you to move on. And when you're talking about your loved one, it's like, no, let him rest. But the man is resting. The man is resting. But he is a part of my life, whether I like it or not. I will carry him to the grave. Till the day that God calls me, he will always be a part of my life. You don't spend 20 years with someone to just let them rest. He's resting. The 20 years that I've spent with him, what are they supposed to mean to me? Like, I'm just supposed to now forget and act like it's never happened because I'm supposed to let him rest. I can't let Sean do anything. God made that decision already. He's resting. When you go through a loss like that, you think about what you have lost, but then you look at the people around you and you think, how is she going to be without her dad? She has all these milestones still coming up, and her father will be there to experience that with her, and she will be able to, because she was very close with her. But the way that child was strong for me, and not to say she didn't get the opportunity to grieve, I think she grieved in her own way. But praying the way that we did for the month that Shaw was sick, we prayed before. But I think this was just praying on a whole other level that I didn't even know was possible. I think prepares. Because then after, even though I was angry and I couldn't pray, and I didn't even feel like praying, we had prayer time in the house. And when that prayer time came, you never believe you led that time to solution. They would convene in my room. Everybody would be sitting with their journals and their Bibles, and everybody would read their word of the day and whatnot. And there was a prayer that my mom taught me when I was a little girl. It's the Serenity Prayer. I meditate on that prayer. I don't have to have problems or issues to say that prayer. I just meditate on it every day. And I think it started having a completely different meaning to me now. When I read it, I needed to believe every word that I said. Put my body health. Nourish your spirit. I think, like I said, we as human beings, we can be so vain, right? And now I put it in that order deliberately. We can be so vain. You look at Connie. Connie works so hard in the gym. Connie has a six-pack. She looks so good. And that's all good and well, right? But what is most important is feeding your spirit, and then feeding your mind, and then nurturing and feeding your body to live a healthy, fulfilling life. So all these have to go together for you to be a wholesome person.
Today was such a wholesome, amazing day. I had an absolutely amazing time, and I definitely had to get out of my comfort zone. Going to an event alone is definitely not something that I would ordinarily do, but I'm glad I did. I met such amazing women and also just had amazing time. Above and beyond everything that we walked away with, all the advice and the tips and the nuggets, I think what I realized more than anything is that Mpumi is living her purpose, God's intended purpose over her life. And once you have God by your side, honestly, the sky is the limit. Anything that you set your heart and your mind on is attainable. So, yeah, I am honestly inspired by her resilience, by her bravery, by her discipline more than anything. And one thing above and beyond everything that else that I've walked away with from today is that I am going to live in my purpose. I'm going to live my purpose, my God ordained purpose.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you for making Unlimited Fest, the Healing Edition, a success. Be well, show up well, and show up for yourself.